Hello everyone, my name is AP the Weird One, and we are back with more Most Notorious Talker runs the World's Greatest Clan, episode 10, I believe. I think it's episode 10. So, we got a good episode, although from someone who's read the manga and light novel, there's a little bit downside, but I'm going to be positive. I'm going to mostly be positive. There's maybe one little trick I was a little bit like, I think it could have been a little bit different, but okay, we'll discuss that. So, starting off with this episode, and I thought they would say this for season 2, even though when this takes place is around the time of volume 2, it's at the end of volume 1 of the light novel, but Noel Stalin pays a visit to the jail and meets up with Hugo Capella. We learn a little bit more about his backstory. He's a puppeteer, a really good puppeteer. He was a seeker for a little while, and then he decided his main goal was to make puppets for make dolls for people. That was his ultimate dream. But life got in the way and decided to twist his fate. They wouldn't have his ways. They'll elaborate more on this, but he could be, say, a little bit more cocky, and he ruffled feathers, personally. With that said, these two have this conversation, and their conversation goes back and forth. Noel's like, I'm gonna make you mine. Hugo basically calls him the snake, and he's like, yeah, thanks for the compliment. He's like, that's not meant to be it. But, Hugo acknowledges him, yeah, I'm gonna be a seeker again. He realizes his fate. So, he believes Noel Stalin. Like, he knows that he's gonna get out of this. Whether legally or not, that's up to be seen or the right way, but he is gonna become a seeker again and work for Noel Stalin. Because he won't have Noel to answer. Next part, I'm gonna fast forward a little bit because I do want to talk a little bit more about this. We'll jump ahead. Oh. Alright. We have our next big moment. We have our, the bar. Hold on. Let me recall his name for 1 sec. Alright. I'm back. Okay. So, after this, we continue. Noel Stalin and his group, Koga and Almond, they go to the Rockhard Beak, which is for bee seekers and above. They run into Edgar of the War Eagle clan. And I gotta say, Edgar looks awesome. Like his armor, the way they animate it looks fantastic. I love the way it looks. Though we do have a small problem with this confrontation. He says if you call yourself, he thought Noel Stalin was a girl, of course. And he says, well, if you're a man, you would have battle scars. The insult, I'll let it play a little bit, but I'm going to tell you what actually gets said a little bit later in the light novel and even subsequently the manga. He calls him a mess, but he says, novel, he says, you're very masculine. Did the balls finally drop? And that's how the novel and the manga as well. Read the exact line. I should a little bit better about that. So you need a scar face to be a man. In that case, you're extraordinarily masculine. Did your balls finally drop, ma'am? So the insults are a lot worse, a little bit, and minor complaint. But this is just someone who's read the light novel and the manga. Although, of course, I did forget it. I'm not gonna say I knew instantly that it was a different line. It had been a while since I read volume 2, and then even the manga. But still, there is a bit of change. So after the confrontation with Edgar, they sit down. Ophelia from the Winged Knights come by. One thing that was kind of like, I wish there was done a little bit better, and this is even the manga, but when Noel Stalin is talking to Ophelia with her Seeker or Link skill, it just like, it looks very obvious that he's talking to somebody. I don't know, maybe people don't know what it's like, but it just, like, I would think Ophelia would have picked up on this factor. And this is just overall manga light novel. This is just as is. That's how it is. I wish they had done it a little bit better. But anyway, so she confronts Nullstone because he heard the rumors and everything. Of course, Koga backs him up. Noel is actually happy, although he does not say this outwardly. He says this internally, but we don't see that in the scene. But I do like this, like Koga standing up for Noel. Like he takes, it's not him being a dog, but like, yeah, he's defending his master. It doesn't, to me, it doesn't come off of him being a loyal dog. I feel like this is my boss. This is what I'm meant to do. I'm supposed to defend him. I don't appreciate that. It's a good character development moment for him. Of course, then Leon comes in, talks to Noel, and Noel just basically gets right under his skin. And they're the two banter, because Noel wants the two bantering between Noel and Leon is done really well. I love it when Noel Stone gets under people's skin. It's really good, and it's why I like this arc. I like this part a lot. This arc a lot. I should also mention that Edgar and Noel's confrontation is also very good. I like both of them. It's done very well in this anime. So they have their agreements, and Noel Stone once he turns his back and runs away. Like, I'm not going to deal. Leon's like, all right, I'm done fighting with you. I guess you could. Leon's a little bit naive, or like he's the goody two shoe, which we're going to learn a bit later. I actually like what they added to this. I think it does get mentioned later. I'm not 100% sure, but they do give backstory after. They do give backstory after this confrontation, a little bit later. But anyway, so their conversation. This is exactly what Noah wants it to do. They want him to get fired up because he's going to go to battle with them later. In a way. So that happens, and I think we get to the next best part. Yeah. Oh yes. We get to the piece de la dessert, the cake of this episode, the best part. We get introduction to Harold Jenkins' granddaughter, Marion, and God, does she look beautiful. Oh, man. I think there's probably a better character that she exemplifies, but she reminds me of Athena from the Ace Attorney series, but just better. Like, she has this both, her outfit gives her both a tomboyish look, but she's also very feminine. It's just like, and the novel, Harold just makes compliment, like, yeah, how a beautiful woman she is, and like, oh yeah, the anime just nailed her so well. Like, not even the manga could touch what the animators did for this episode. Absolutely love it. Can't wait for some good Rule 34 of her. Yeah, she doesn't look like she's got the bust, but she's gorgeously hot. Anyway, these two have a conversation talking about who's going to be the leader of the clans when the Valiant comes. The manga and light novel is a little bit more induction. There's a little bit more key to it, but these two have a little bet. Harold says, I'll make you a bet. If she believes that Leo's going to be in charge. They give hints about him. We'll meet him later. I do like Leo. He is a good asshole. But if Leo becomes leader of the clans, we'll just say this argument. Marion will become the head of the Jenkins family. If she loses, then she has to go to etiquette school or finishing school or bridal school, basically to be a proper woman. So whenever she gets married, in the light novel and manga, there is Harold is the one who says finishing school is like, and that gives her a rise. It is a little bit in light novel, but I think I'd rather have him said it just to see that cute expression on her, because Marion is a babe. And afterwards, after this scene, we get the backstory of Leo and his companion came, like how they were kids, how they were best friends. They get bullied. He narcs on some kids about stealing, and of course he's about to get beaten up, and Keem's like gets in the way. And we see this character, and we see like Leon does not respond with violence, and his this character of his is very important. What's later on, they do a good setup for, as someone who's read the light novel and manga, set up what's going to next part. There's actually a much more important detail that they show. They're battling they battle the dragon, the Depth 7, and we see Leon prioritize the protection of his companions over wanting to do the kill, do the finishing blow, but Keem say, hey, go for it, we can do this. This is going to be important for later on, and I think even Noel Stone understands his character, because he has his fair amount of research, so he's going to know. He's going to know what kind of person Leon is and how to get under his skin. And then at the episode, Leon and Keem are talking in a bar, and they get some letters about needing clans from supposedly the organization, but it turns out it was a bit of farce. Someone's ruling, but the point is they apply for a clan, they get rejected. Harold says, I will let you in, but you got to take a certain test. You got to beat a level 8 monster, which I'm not the top of my head. I should have been a little bit better for this. Maybe I can look at the what did you the Tantalion. I should remember that, but yeah, the Tantalion. And he says you got to go up against the clan. Of course, how they do it, like in introduction, they show this little snake, and then he comes in. It's like, I love that part. So overall, this is a great episode. This is like a nice rain shower before we get the thunderstorm, and I'm like, oof, yes, very good. I mean, yes, I do think the light novel manga are better, except for how they did our gorgeous babe. I love, but because I'll get back to that, but yeah, it's a very good episode. I absolutely, like, 10 out of 10 episode. I absolutely love it, barring my complaints. But yeah, I read the novel series, but I never got she was a waifu. But now that I've seen the anime, yeah, she is a waifu. So that ends the episode. The next part is I would believe is the final touch to this arc. Hopefully, we might get one more episode. Yeah, I think we do have to have one more episode. I think we're not going to get the killer blow, but we're almost there. But we're in the good part. This episode, next, and the next two are. But before I end this episode off, I want to talk about my overall feelings towards this anime series. Despite, I would say, the laziness or the censorship of the series, bar my own complaints, well, I do think the series needs to be a bit longer. Like, the episodes could have been a little bit longer. Not very much. Like, if they went like a full 30 minutes, which is not necessarily proper television, but if they went like a full 30 minutes or so, I think they could make it would have been a little bit better. There's a little bit more conversations, little extra parts to it. I mean, like, there's in the previous episodes, Noel Stone mentions about getting this book. He does get it. That gives him access to the controlling the undead a little bit, or shutting them off, and that is a skill that's going to be relevant later. Although they might talk about it later. But I just feel like, yeah, the episodes could have been a little bit longer. The animators could have given characters their feats. It just could be a little bit more. Regardless of the fact, I think if it's from an anime only perspective, for those who didn't watch it, I'd probably get a 9 out of 10 or maybe a 10 out of 10, depending on where you go. From a personal standpoint, I think I'd have to give it 8 out of 10. This series is very good. It's very enjoyable, but going back to the source materials, I just have my little quirks and everything. The intro song is really good. The end song I don't think is that special. It doesn't really add anything to this series. But yeah, the animation's really good. How they do the characters. I think the voice acting is also really good. I really love Alma's voice actor and even Noel's voice actor. They do an exceptionally good job. Because I'm still a little bit sick, I'm going to end the episode here. Hopefully you guys enjoy. Make sure to pick up the manga or the light novel. And, if, whatever complaints I have, don't take it as not to watch the series. Like I said, I still think the series is excellent. With that, see you guys next time for episode 11. Hopefully have a wonderful day. Like, comment, and subscribe.